Hello, and welcome to another edition for the Lincoln Commission on Human Rights show. We have a great show for you today, so thank you for being with us. Today, we are actually going to learn a little bit more about the coalition of the culture centers. And I think a lot of people really don't know what it is or what it means for our community centers. And so I have asked Tom Randa, hello Tom,
Hello.
to be here with us today. So how are you today?
Doing good, yes. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You know, I appreciate you taking the time to do this. And I started to say in the intro about how there is a coalition of the culture centers, and we really don't know a lot of it, at least the community at large.
Yes.
We know that there's community centers, and each of them have their own thing that they do.
Yeah.
But if you could introduce a little bit more about what you do, and then give us a little background on this culture coalition.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. The Culture Centers was actually started in 1999 as Culture Centers Coalition. That was the original name, and there was 4 agencies, 4 cultural centers. I believe it was the Asian Center, El Centro, Malone, and the Indian Center. So those directors just started meeting on a regular basis, trying to see some of the common things that they were doing in their buildings with their clients. And so from that, they started saying, hey, let's meet on a monthly basis, just keep in check, make sure that we are taking care of our people. And so that is how the Cultural Centers of Lincoln Coalition was started. And over the years, the directors have found ways of, like saying, okay, there's a funding that is going to maybe help all of us, so let's apply for that. So the Good Neighbor Center came into the picture between 2009 and 2012, about that time. Same with Ponca Tribe of Nebraska. So those are the other 2 other cultural centers that ended up joining these other 4 groups. So we are a total of 6 cultural centers at the moment. And in 2019, in 2014 is when we officially put our name there as a 501c3. And that kind of helped, with grant applications. But then in 2019, we realized that, the way it was filed, it was not going to allow us to get public money because it had been published as a private foundation. So we're like, we need to change all this. So IRS looked at it, and we all looked at it, and the process was just too much. We're just like, you know what? It's probably going to be much easier if we change names. And that's when we adopted Cultural Centers of Lincoln. And so that's how the names changed. But otherwise, everything is still the same, still doing the same job. We have several grants that we do together. One of the major ones that we collaborate with the Lincoln Lancaster County Health Department is called Minority Health Initiative. So we've done that for so many years. So that has really kept us going together. It addresses health issues for the clients that we serve on each center. And so this past couple of years, the health department has been helpful because it's applied it on behalf of the cultural centers. And so we end up working with them, and we have various things that we do together. So we have several meetings once a month, and then trying to figure out what is each center doing regarding this grant. But that's not the only one. I mean, we've had so many other opportunities to partner. Some of you saw us during COVID season. We found ways of making sure that each center was able to help the clients that we serve. We formed partnerships with the city, the county, went for federal grants, county grants, whatever we could find to make sure that we helped our clients. So there's strength in numbers, basically, is what it comes down to, and this has really helped us to be able to do that.
Wow, that's a mouthful. No, that sounds great. I didn't realize the process that it had taken to where you're at now.
Yes.
And so just to kind of go over again, so you have the 6 community centers.
Yes.
So it's Good Neighbor, El Centro de las Americas, Malone Center, the Indian Center, the Asian Community and Cultural Center, and then you've got the Indian Center. Now you have Ponca
Tribe of Nebraska.
That is wonderful. So tell me a little bit about the benefits of coming together as a coalition, because I think it's interesting that over the years they started off more as a support system, it sounds like, for each other.
Yeah.
But it's evolved.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was more of, like when I joined, I started working at the Good Neighbor Center in 2007. And back then they had different directors that were coming together and attending these meetings. So in 2012, when I became the director, I joined these veteran directors. So they were kind of telling me, hey, as a Good Neighbor Center, these are some opportunities for you to be able to go through. These are funding opportunities. Have you done this? Have you done that? So it was also like a mentorship for me. And slowly we saw that all those directors from back then have left, and then it's a whole new set of directors. And that's kind of what we're also doing for the new ones that are now coming. Now we are telling them, hey, there's these opportunities that can help you with the organization. I think Steve with the Indian Center is our latest director.
Yes.
So now we started just working with him, hey, telling him, this is what we do as cultural centers. These are the funding opportunities. Have you talked to this person? Have you talked to that person? What do we need to assist Indian Center get to where they need to be? You know, what are some of the things you're struggling with that we can help you with? And we've done that. John was the previous one that joined around 2019, 2020s. So now he's not the rookie anymore. Now he's, you know, able
now
to
somebody
pass that on. So there's that opportunity to be able to assist the directors that are coming in as new. And then, like we talked about COVID, as we went through COVID, there was strength in numbers. We were able to say, okay, our people need rent assistance, so let's go to the state and see how much we can get. I think we were able to distribute close to $275,000 among the cultural centers with rent assistance. Then we did the same thing with food. We found some food grants, and we did that. And then we look at issues in Lincoln that are affecting the communities that we serve. One of the latest one was like the Afghans who came to Lincoln.
Yes.
So the cultural centers that actually work with refugees said, let's see what we can do. And then we applied for a state grant that helped us get staff members that have been able to assist those Ukrainians, Afghanis. And so the cool thing about the cultural centers is that if I find a way of collaborating with one center, it doesn't mean that everybody has, or it's not a must that everybody has to be, everybody's at liberty. Right. You can say, okay, this time it's just me and them alone, or me and just the Asian center will do this. And since this other organization doesn't really concentrate on refugees, then they don't have to do that. So there's those advantages. But then there's those ones like health. You know, everybody needs health. You know, not everybody works with the refugees, but then health affects all of us. Yeah, so those are some of the advantages of working together.
Wow, that's wonderful. Because as you say, working in numbers is better than just on a single individual culture center. So thank you for that. I didn't realize that it had been since 99.
1999.
And to the present day and how it's evolved. So that is very helpful, not just for myself, but for the community to understand why there is a coalition or culture centers, and then each individual culture center. So, well, congratulations, I think, in bringing it together and maintaining it. But you represent Good Neighbor. Tell us about what Good Neighbor does.
Yes.
And how, I know the Good Neighbor has been around for a long time, but maybe a little bit about that history so people can realize or see that there's a history with each of the culture centers, number one. But two, you've also evolved.
Exactly. So. Yeah, so actually this year the Good Neighbor Center is celebrating 50 years. So we started in 1973. So we had an opportunity as a Good Neighbor Center to celebrate 50 years of operation during our Samples of the World event in September. So the center was actually started by the local Seventh-day Adventist churches here in Lincoln. So they found a way of saying, okay, let's come together, let's see what we can help the community with. So they started by saying there's always some emergencies coming up, but then there's always the continuous help people are looking at. So we found out that families do need food. So that has been a really major program for the Good Neighbor Community Center. And we have several programs to do with food. There's a food pantry. And then we have some wonderful partnerships in Lincoln with the food bank that help us distribute perishable food every Monday, every Wednesday. Wonderful partnership with FoodNet. So we see Allen Chapel coming into our building and providing food on Sundays. And another one that we really love is the Thanksgiving baskets.
Yes.
Several people in the community just come together and do food drives for us, which we're able to help the community with that. And then we also have we have a shopping floor where donations come into the center and they're given out free of charge, so nobody pays a single penny when they come to the center. Those ones depending on donations. Someone may be able to come every 2 weeks, once a month. And this has been helpful, especially for new refugees coming into town. Children are growing, and it's hard to pay for their clothes as they keep growing. So you can come to the center and see, hey, do you guys have any clothes that my kids can fit in? And if that opportunity is not there when you come, we always invite them to come back another time. We do provide diapers. There's personal care items as well. We partner with StarTron to sell low-income bus passes. And we normally don't say this out too loud, but for those who can't afford it, we'll try to give them free bus passes as well, so that they can be able to focus on being able to go to find a job, go to school, just be able to work towards self-sustainability. And then the program that really puts us on the map with the cultural centers is called Middle East North Africa Hope Project, MENA Hope, which serves refugees and immigrants from the Middle East, North Africa, and we're also expanding to southern parts of Africa. We're able to do that as well. So we do have several staff members on our staff that do speak various languages. There's those from Afghanistan. There's those who speak mostly Arabic from all those countries. I do speak Swahili myself. And we have another staff member that speaks French. And as of late, we have one more that is from India. So we are really expanding that, and we're hoping to keep serving more people. So refugees, immigrants, they're able to come to the center. They're able to access the programs that I just mentioned. But in addition to that, interpretation languages, services for languages, those various languages. We do have English classes. We do have citizenship classes. As I mentioned, we have several grants that we work with the cultural centers. So we have health classes. We do focus on cooking classes. And just finding ways, of making sure that as these new refugees are coming, are working towards sustainability. That may involve, finding a job, learning more English, learning how to drive, addressing transportation issues. How we're going to help them with that. So various things. It just depends on each person that comes to the center.
Wow. Now, I've been at the Good Neighbor Center, and from everything that you've just stated, you're going to outgrow that space very quickly.
Yes.
What would an individual need to do if they need it, for example, especially like your clothing? Do they go to the center? Do they need to fill out information? Or what do they need to
That's
ask
a good
for
question. Good question and a good point. We've actually already outgrown our space. We are to a point where the food program, we can no longer house it inside the building, especially the one on Mondays and Wednesdays. So since COVID, we adapted a drive-through system. So people will just come, drive their vehicles, we load the food into their vehicles. So if you need food, all you have to do for that program is show up any Monday, any Wednesday in the morning, just come and get your food. When it comes to FoodNet, same thing on Sunday. Just come to the center on Sunday, you'll get the food. For our pantry, we try to have appointments such that we can give each person an opportunity to walk through the pantry and pick out the foods that you're familiar with. And those that you're not familiar with, you can ask questions like, what do you have here? How do I cook it? We're able to help you with that. And then I'll say when it comes to other programs, just call us. We'll be able to see how we can well assist you. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds awesome. I've been in there. I've been at the MENA project with Zainab, and I enjoy meeting the women. I think that it's a great space for women to feel comfortable in that project, the MENA project. But also, I've seen also how everybody else is served with the drive-through for the food, which is a lot of work.
It is a lot of
because
work.
you're putting all the baskets together and then
yeah.
putting them in the
Oh, yeah,
cars. And
yeah.
winter is not kind around
It's
here.
not kind at all.
And so that is wonderful. If we as community members wanted to help out or to donate, especially like diapers or in a financial way,
Yeah.
where can they find you, or what would they need to do to get to
Yeah, on our website, I should say we have a website that has more information on how you can assist us. So our website address is gncclincoln.org. So if you go there, you'll see various ways that you can help us. And the first one is always, financially. There's a way for anybody to help us financially. And then we have put out other ways where you can say, okay, I do have clothes, where do I take them? It kind of tells you where to do that. Things like diapers. If you have diapers, you could do a diaper drive. You could do a food drive for us. And at this point, we're actually in the Christmas season, so we do have a grandparents' Christmas room that you're able to bring toys to. And we mainly focus on grandparents from the low-income families. We know there's so many programs that will help parents, but this one mainly focuses on low-income grandparents. Yeah, but visit our website, our Facebook page. You'll see pictures of what we are up to. If we have any new announcements coming up, they are there, ways of supporting us. We try to put them on Facebook as much as we can.
Wow, you do such a great service.
Thank
That
you.
is so appreciated. I particularly like the grandparents' space for
Yes.
Christmas.
Oh, we have bigger space now too, so it's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think if there was another program like that, and I haven't heard of one. So that sounds wonderful.
Yes.
Because it gives grandparents an opportunity to go and shop for their grandkids.
Exactly.
Because as grandparents, they love their
Yes.
grandkids, right? So that gives them an opportunity. So if anybody wants to donate for their grandparents, they can find that information on the website.
Yes.
What are your hours during the week?
During the week, it's very tricky because Mondays and Wednesdays it is really hard to come and do any donations just because everybody is there for food. So I try to discourage anybody bringing things like clothing, donations. Wait until maybe in the afternoon when things have slowed down. At least you'll be able to access the building, because in the morning we're just too many of us there providing food. So Mondays, Wednesdays, afternoons are great. Tuesdays, Thursdays we slow down a little bit. So anytime from 8 to 4, just come down there and bring whatever you need to bring. And then Friday mornings, you can also come and see us there.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate so much. The information is wonderful. It's, it's something so the community can access the website, which will have the website link and other information at the end of the programming.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for taking the time to do this, Tom. I think it's
thank you for
important for
having me.
people to know that, as busy as you are growing, and you do need some of that financial assistance.
Exactly.
Not that I'm asking people to donate, but really I am. I think we need to make sure we continue to donate for our agencies that help our community.
So many wonderful agencies. I mean, even if it's not us, find an agency in Lincoln that supports all the good work in assisting the people in our community, and that will go a long ways.
Absolutely, especially when it comes to like diapers and clothing, because we do have a lot of people who need that assistance. So thank you. Thank you very much for being here today. I appreciate your time and your willingness.
Thank you. Thank you.
So with that, look at the information at the end of our programming for Good Neighbor and Coalition Community Centers. So thank you, Tom. And with that, remember, we all have rights.